it's Sunday morning, the 7th of July, 2019. Welcome along to this morning's United Kingdom Talk, coming to you from Bracknell here in Berkshire on a rather dreary, dull day. It looks dull, boys. A bit like watching Love Island. It looks very dull today, boys. I like that word, dull. Shall we say it together? Dull. Looks awful out there. I was just looking at the weather, actually. I thought, well, I hope it's going to clear up today. And I looked on the BBC weather forecast. The height's going to be today is like 19, 68. You know, in the middle of summer. 68 degrees. That's all we're going to get today. Fahrenheit, 20 centigrade. Isn't that pathetic? I mean, it's not cold. Yesterday, I have changed over my duvet. I've changed to my summer duvet because I get hot in bed, boys. And goes, oh, God, little Dukey Chris is there this morning. Morning, Chris. I get very, very hot in bed, Chris. I must warn you that. When you succumb to my advances, we will be very, very hot in that bed. First message of the day comes from Duke. Chris, good morning, Chris. So you get a little, you might not be aware of this. We are giving away something, Chris. To the pet. I know, you're getting very excited now, aren't you? Is it a day at my house? I know, I can hear you saying that. I can hear you saying that now. We are giving away something to the person who gets the most messages this month. The most first messages this month. Okay, today it's you. So there's your name on a piece of paper and a little 1 marked next to it. Now I do hope that I can find the other piece of paper. I think I've left it down at the caravan. I hope I haven't thrown it away with the list of other names that are on there. And at the moment, no one has got more than 1. So I'm a bit concerned that we might end up at the end of the month with 30 names and a little 1 next to them. But then I realised there's not really 30 people who watch this programme. But that's neither here nor there. You are first today. What are you going to win? What are you going to win? Oh, Chris, are you ready? It's going to be a certificate. A certificate. You know, so whoever it is, for example, you, Chris Duke, you know, has made the most first messages into United Kingdom Talk in the month of July 2019. Not only that, I sign it at the bottom. I know. Calm down, dear. Don't get too excited. Don't make too much noise on a Sunday morning at this time. Unlike people walking their dogs outside my house today. Oh, I could hear them. Chatting away at full volume at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's outrageous. Mind you, at least I haven't got to go work. You're going to work, aren't you? On a Sunday, honestly. If I could just tell you, boys and girls, Chris is very lucky. He was working for William Hill. And you may have heard the news last week that William Hill are cutting a load of jobs, aren't they? And literally just a few weeks ago, he swapped jobs and now works for Paddy Power, who haven't announced any job closures, but any job losses. But my God, that was a lucky move. No one knows anything's going on, do they? This is a trouble with businesses, and I was having a really long conversation with a very, very good friend of mine. Oh, just a minute. Something's hurting my foot. What's that? What is that? Oh, that was in my sock, that was. What is it? In the top. Oh, it's a bit of wood. How did that get there, then? Maybe it came out of my head. I don't know. There's a grass seed or something. Yeah, sometimes you get some of those. That was stuck in the top of my foot, itching me. Anyway. Yes, talking to my mate yesterday about how businesses go bust. And it happens all of a sudden. Usually, you don't know it's going to happen. And it happened to me once. I was DJing at a place called Harpo's in Earls Court. I'm going back here, 28, 30 years or so, something like that, okay? And there was no inkling of anything going wrong. It was just a normal night. And there I was DJing. Would have been, I don't know, about 8 o'clock at night, something like that. And we had a few customers in. I was chatting away on the microphone, playing my music. And all of a sudden, these people in suits walked in, you know, right up their own arses, usually people in suits. And they walked in and they came over to me and says, could you stop the music now, please? And I'm like, well, who are you? Well, we're the official receivers. I said, well, you better go and get my manager. That's who I answer to. And they got the manager. And there was some sort of discussion going on down there. And that was it. And then this bloke come up and stood on the stage and said, good evening, everyone. We're official receivers. I'm afraid this bar is now closed. And I must ask you all to make your way towards the door. And that was it. That was it. And no one knew anything was going to happen. That's how receivers close down jobs a lot of times. So clearly the pub had been in trouble, although God knows how, because it was busy. It was a busy, busy place. Usually, I think sometimes, when that happens, and I've seen other pubs as well go under because someone's taken a load of money out of the business and not putting it where it should go. But literally, so everyone left the pub and they closed the doors and they got all the staff one. Very sorry to have to tell you that your job's now finished. You're all out of a job. And that was that. That was that. We all had to leave. End of. So sudden. And that is often how it happens. And of course, I mean, the people who own the bar would know what's happening. They'd know. But no one below that level had a clue what was going on. These people just walked in and took over. And that was the end of that. Never mind. It was a good job at the time. I enjoyed working there. Harpo's in Earls Court. It was a hard job. They were a hard crowd. I think I mentioned it last week, actually. They were a difficult crowd. And I used to get a bit of depression in there. After I finished, I'd be up there smiling and happy, and that. And there would be nothing coming back from the crowd. They literally just stand there with a pint glass and they get in my car and cry on the way home. It's awful. Awful. But it really tested me. It really tested me when I was doing that stuff. So there we are. Now let's just go to your messages this morning. Morning, Diane Jeb. Good morning, Diane. Hello to Adam the plumber. Good morning. It's horrible weather. Oh, you're so lazy, dear. Chris says it's horrible weather, so he's going to book an Uber to work. Oh, come on. Can you walk? Is it walking distance or not? I know you've got a bad back. How's the back today? I think you should walk to work. I mean, I don't think it's not drizzling out there. It looks like it might chuck it down shortly. And I'm trying to decide whether to get on my bicycle to church this morning or get the car. I don't like to get the car out of the garage unless I absolutely have to. A bit tight with paying petrol money. And I like the exercise on the bike as well. It's quite a nice cycle down there. Good morning to LaBelle in New York. I am her emerald-eyed biscuit of love. Come and take a bite out of me. Come and take a bite out of me. It's raining in Swanley in Kent, says Adam. Alan Russell, good morning, who's leaving Braintree in Essex to come down for a couple of days. So safe journey. How are you getting there? Is that coming on a train or you got a coach? Coach journeys are very cheap, aren't they? Although sometimes they go on a really odd route and, like an hour and a half journey in a car will take you like 4 hours in a coach because it keeps stopping all over the place. Trains are good, but they're so expensive, aren't they? Trains. Who was it? I think it was my friend Matthew the other day. He wanted to go somewhere and decided not to go because the train was so expensive. I said, are you doing it in advance? Like 6 weeks in advance, I think is where you get the cheap train tickets. And he said, yes. He couldn't afford the train ticket. Dreadful. You can't travel around like that. Good morning to Jason Shaw. Good morning, Jason. Michael Pullman there. Morning, Michael. Kieran's there. Hello, Kieran. Who's been called an official receiver a few times. Yes. Sadly not by me, Kieran, but never mind. There's still time, dear. There's still time. Good morning to Mike Reese. Ponto. Morning. Heidi's there. It started when Steve Bell took over as manager. Wasn't Steve? I thought he was... Wasn't he a doorman, Steve? I think Steve was a doorman, wasn't he? Sure he was a doorman, Steve. I don't think he was a manager. But I don't know anything about that. Hello to Claire Norton. Good morning. It's spitting in Pimlico. Spitting in Pimlico at the moment in southwest London. Alan's travelling with his push bike in the boot. Very sensible. I thought of that a few times. I mean, I can't do it like while I'm doing karaoke because you have what is that? Good God, Brad! What is all that you're posting there, dear? Can you not just keep in with the flow of the show? There's a couple of people now who keep putting out these long statements. I will have to stop you posting stuff on there if it carries on. There's 2 people who keep posting these long statements, which I don't usually refer to, but it takes up so much of the screen. I'm not reading all that, dear. I'm not reading all that, Brad. I hope you had a nice birthday, incidentally, the other day. Okay, good. Nice drive down from Lincolnshire on Friday. That was quite pleasant. The sun was shining. It's nice when you're in the car and the sun's shining and you're moving along at speed. As I say, the journey down from Lincolnshire is 3.5 hours, taking it really easy in the car. I could probably do it in 3, maybe even less than that if I wanted to. But I take it really easy, coming down those little roads through the fields and the cows and the sheep everywhere, and you just keep moving. It's wonderful. Wonderful journey, the A1M down from Lincolnshire. The karaoke on Friday was fantastic. I'm pleased to say, Karaoke Friday, absolutely fantastic night. Lots of new faces again. Once again, we've got people coming really late. I mean, really late, 11:45, and they want to sing, and it's not happening, I'm afraid. Too late. 8:30 we start, and they come out. It's usually, I'm sorry, ladies, it's usually young girls. I'm sorry, we're full up at them. Oh, please. And then the eyelashes start to it. Well, it doesn't work on me, dear. It doesn't work. You can flutter your eyelashes as much as you like. You are not going to get any preferential treatment, especially coming in at 11:45. Doesn't work. And then they start, and then some of these girls, because they don't always know. They don't know they're in a gay bar. Oh, sometimes. And then, oh, please. And they lean over, so exposing their breasts slightly in the hope that that's going to make me change my mind. I'm afraid it isn't. No one gets preferential treatment. Unless you're a soldier or someone about, 30, 35 years old with tattoos and reasonable muscles. Then you might jump the queue. If you're really good looking, I'll have someone on stage. I don't know, perhaps, let me think of a name. I might have Maureen on the stage, the lovely Maureen. I don't know if she's with us this morning. Maureen will be on the stage, and if you're really fit, halfway through Maureen's song, I said, I'm sorry, Maureen, could you leave the stage now? David's coming up to sing for you. And on will come this soldier, with the tattoos and the muscles. I'm sorry, you will go straight on the stage. Girls, no chance whatsoever. I don't care how pretty you are, how many Love Island episodes that you've been in, how many times you've been on the page 3 of The Sun. Not interested. Go away. Too late. Oh, you're in the armed forces. Come through. Maureen, could you leave the stage, please? Okay, come through. Maureen, get off this. Come on, off the stage. Come on. Be like that. I know, terrible. So that was the karaoke. I came back here, got back home about 1:30 on Friday night, doing some dinner. And then I'm always excited coming home after being away for 3 or 4 days. Not necessarily because I've come home, but of course I get letters here. Or you would think I get hardly any letters. And, I build myself up to it. So I come in. I don't go straight to the letterbox, right? I come into the kitchen, I start doing it. The first thing that happens, the kettle goes on. The very first thing, whenever I come home, the first thing that happens is the kettle go on. Even to the point of leaving shopping. I leave the shopping, drop the shopping outside, come in, put the kettle on. So the kettle's on, the dinner's getting done, and I thought, right, let's go and see how many letters I've got this week. And I went out there, nothing. Not a single letter in a whole week. So disappointed. A few leaflets. I think it was one from Waitrose, a couple from the pizza place, one from the Chinese place. That was it. No letters whatsoever. How disappointed. This all seems to have happened since I ticked that little box saying I didn't want any more of those circular letters that go around. And I've actually got a note on the door that says, please don't post anything here other than letters from the post office. And it all seems to have started. It's not a single letter from anyone. How disappointing is that? Get hardly any letters anymore. So really disappointed. I thought, so I picked up these little advertisements. They go straight in the recycle bin. I don't even read them anymore. I wonder how many more people... do you do that? When you get those pizza things and Chinese and Indian things through the letterbox, advertising their food and restaurants and things like that, I just get literally straight in the bin. So that was that. Came in to put the telly on. I can't remember what I was watching on Friday, and that was it. And didn't do a lot yesterday. I mean, I went down to the shops yesterday morning and had a little bit of a swim, and I come back here. And I was setting up a new karaoke screen because we've got a new karaoke starting on Thursday, boys and girls. but it's not in London. Now, if you're in sort of northeast, up on the northeast coast, you will be able to attend. Here it is. There we are. Starts this coming Thursday. Karaoke at the Silhouette Bar in Cleethorpes. Okay? In Cleethorpes. Is it Lincolnshire or Yorkshire? I can't remember what it is now, but Cleethorpes. There it is. That's starting this Thursday night, 9 o'clock until midnight. My first job up in the northeast. So we've got fingers crossed with that one, that it will work. It's not a massive place. It's a nice little size. And if we get a few people in there, I will be over the moon. I will be over the moon. So if you're up in the northeast, too far for London people to travel. I mean, by the time you get there, it'll be finishing. All right. So there we are. And that was it. That was it, really. The other thing is last night, of course, I went to work last night, came back home. We had Charlie Hides last night, who's been on the telly in the RuPaul Drag Idol or whatever it's called. I'm not a fan of that program. It just doesn't do it for me for some reason. I don't know why. I worked with drag queens for years and years and years, but that particular program just I don't know what it is about it. It leaves me cold, I'm afraid. But Charlie Hides was in it, and we had her on the stage last night. Fantastic show. Came back here, all excited to watch Casualty, as I do every Saturday night. I finish work, usually at some point between 20 past 11 and midnight. It kind of varies depending what time the show finishes. And got back in the car, come back here, put the telly on. Where's Casualty? No Casualty again. So they took that off as well. Not only have I got withdrawal symptoms from no Holby City this week, but Casualty as well. Why? Because watching the tennis from Wimbledon. 30, love. 40, 30. Deuce. How unexciting. I don't care. It's boring. Tennis is boring. Cricket on the telly, boring. Football on the telly, boring. Nice blokes to look at, interesting. But the sport itself, boring. So we've had no Casualty and no Holby City this week. I had to watch an episode of Ambulance instead. Very, very disappointed. Why do they do that? I hate that. BBC have got blooming 3 channels on there. Surely they could have squeezed or even put it on the iPlayer for us all to watch. They could have squeezed an episode of Casualty in there somewhere. I don't know what's happening to Connie Beecham. Jacob's mum's dead. She died last week. I think Jacob's left the programme. And who's the little ginger one? Oh, I can't bear her. Oh, she does my head in. Well, she had a baby last year. It's all part of the story. So I can't bear her. But I'm concerned about Connie Beecham and that dreadful man that started telling them all what to do. Don't know what his name is. Ugly git he is. He's like a middle-aged bloke with a beard down, like a ginger beard like that and hair. He loves himself, he does. He's the sort of person that would fart and close the door and laugh. Nasty piece of goods. He keeps upsetting Connie Beecham. So no Casualty last night. Very, very disappointed. And that was my last couple of days. Funnily enough, I was talking to a friend of mine in the pub on Saturday night, Tommy, who I haven't seen for some time. And we were talking about television and how dreadful. Like, there's a couple of channels which I really hate. ITVBe. It's just all crap television. The Housewives of Cheshire. Stuff like, Love Island, Big Brother, ITVBe and ITV2. Dreadful trash televisions. Absolute crap programmes on those 2 channels. They really are. Awful. We're talking about how terrible television is now. But that's just how it is, isn't it, really? Let's have a look here. One moment, please. Where are we now? Sorry, let me just... Alan! Oh, no, hang on a minute. Mike Reitz, what's your address? I'll send you a nice letter. Well, you can do it on an email if you want. An email. I've got email, chris@chrisriordan.co.uk if you want to. All right. Kieran Wood, good morning. Welcome to the show, Kieran. We're just here most mornings. We have a little bit of a laugh, nothing too serious. Okay. All right, LaBelle, the only sports I watch is the Olympics and the rugby. Even that, I just don't watch it. I don't watch sport on the telly at all. Swimming, cycling, it just doesn't do it for me. I like a good story. A good story. I'm enjoying at the moment Killing Eve. That was on last night. The whole series is on the iPlayer, but I don't like to do the you know, when you watch something and you just keep watching it until you get to the end of it. What's that called? Binge watching, binge viewing, something like that. I like to watch one episode, not necessarily one a week, but I'll watch one today, and then that gives me a little bit to look forward to tomorrow. You know, people want everything immediately now, don't they? Not willing to wait. Oh, I want it now. I want it now. I want it now. And then they want it, or then they get it. A bit like Christmas, really. You know, Christmas comes in November. People are giving each other presents. Oh, you might as well have it now. Well, there's nothing to open on Christmas Day. Nothing to look forward to. Like the bloody shops that start Christmas in September now. Decorations being sold and lights, this, that and the other. It's completely spoilt it. Because all they're interested in is getting the money. Got to get the money, got to get the money, got to get the money. That's all they're interested in. All they're interested in. Spoilt the whole thing about Christmas now. All spoilt. Oh, have you got a new man, Heidi? Is that right, dear? Have you traded in the old one? She's going to Wimbledon. How wonderful. When I used to work for British Telecom as an engineer, Wimbledon week was a blooming nightmare. You just could not move around. And that's going back like 30 years. I'd be in my little yellow van, going to fix and then you join the traffic. Nightmare. I never actually got into Wimbledon to fix a phone. I think it was a different part of the company dealt with that. But certainly around the houses. There's some nice houses around there, Wimbledon. Oh, my God, yeah. I could only dream of ever owning a place in Wimbledon. I tell you that now. Hello to Glenn Warwick. Good morning. You a first-timer? I probably would love it, Glenn. I probably would love it going there. There we are. LaBelle, I want it now. I call it the microwave generation. The microwave generation. We could do a song like that. The microwave generation. Hello to Perry. Good morning, Perry. I thought you'd like a man in shorts thrashing their balls around. Well, perhaps I would, Perry. You never know. All right, let's get some news stories for you this morning. I can't be with you too long today, being a Sunday. Now, the Daily Mirror. What a stupid. This is a stupid story. I'm very hot in here. Can I open my window? Do you mind a moment, dear? That hurts. Oh, I just kicked the bottom of the table there. Ooh, but not funnily enough with the ball of my foot and not that. Yes, in the Daily Mirror this morning, I don't get this story. I mean, it doesn't make sense. Let me read it to you and see if you can make any sense of it, because I can't, right? It says, hidden detail. It's one of these people who are you know how people look at stories and pictures and they completely overanalyze them. And I'm convinced people often look at things and just see what they're looking for. Or they certainly see something that isn't there, right? So in the Daily Mirror, they're talking about little baby Archie's christening. That's Megan and Harry's little boy. Okay? And it says, hidden detail in Archie christening photo could give away huge clue about the service. So that's the headline. Now, where do you think that story could be going? Let me read it again. Hidden detail in Archie christening photo could give away huge clue about service. All right? One of the official photos may have revealed new information about the private christening in Windsor Castle on Saturday, and there's a picture of them there. Right, okay. A hidden detail has been spotted in one of Archie's official christening photos. Any idea where this is going yet? If you know the story, don't say. But where do you think this is going? Where do you think this is going? Just 25 people made the invite for the ceremony, which was performed by the Archbishop of Canterbury at Windsor Castle. The clue may help shed some light on what was largely a private day for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex with their family and friends. So where do you think this story is going? Because there seems to be a lot of Harry and Meghan. I think they're private people, really. And they seem to want a lot of privacy. But I mean, that's up to them. It carries on. 2 photographs were released afterwards, late on Saturday afternoon, including a family photo featuring the sisters of Harry's mother, Diana, Princess of Wales, who died when he was 12 years old. It's so long ago now, I can't believe how long ago that is. Right? But eagle-eyed royal fans noticed something more telling. And I'm reading this story. I wonder where this is going. Perhaps they're going to reveal who the godparents are or something like that. So here it comes. Here it comes. Ready? Ready? If you look closely at the mantle clock, you can see the time that the photo was taken is almost 11:55 a.m. which could suggest that Archie was christened at roughly 11 a.m. on a Saturday. The clock itself dates back to the 19th century and has been in Windsor since 1846. It was created by Benjamin Louis Vulamy and acquired by George IV. The couple have not yet revealed the name of Archie's godparents, but the presence of Lady Johnine Fellows and Lady Sarah McLaughlin may fuel speculation that they have been chosen for the role. A statement accompanied the photograph, said the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are so happy to share the joy of this day with members of the public who have been incredibly supportive since the birth of their son. So there we are. That's the story there. And I got to say, are they talking about the clock there? Why have they made such a big thing of the clock? Once again, I'll read that line to you. If you look closely at the mantle clock, you can see the time that this photo was taken is almost 11:55 a.m, which could suggest that Archie was christened at roughly 11 o'clock on Sunday. I mean, so what? Are they just trying to fill bits of the news? Have they got nothing else to write about? Are they just trying to fill bits of the story? And isn't it the oddest story? I just read that and I thought that looks really odd. How is that of interest to anyone? Anyway, that's the story, and you can have a look at the whole thing in the Daily Mirror on the show today. LaBelle says, look, I know people who care about the new babies, but really, who cares? It's a christening. One, well, regular people will never be invited to anyway. Oh, you're so right. Heidi as well. Look, she says, yeah, and exactly. Of what interest is that? I just don't get it. And then it goes on about Thomas Markle. Now, I'm not a fan of Thomas Markle at all. I think he's an absolute idiot. The way he comes on, this is Meghan's dad, and she's kind of snubbed him a bit. He does come across as a complete and utter arsehole. I'm sorry, he does. And he's in the Daily Mail this morning. Look, here we go. Thomas, and there's a picture of him looking all set like this, like that. And he's a dreadful man. Dreadful. I mean, how can you talk about your daughter? You know, if I had a daughter or a son and they did things against me, I wouldn't go. It wouldn't be interested in me because I'm no one anyway. But I wouldn't go to the papers and start talking about what my daughter or son had done to me. It's a completely private thing. This bloke can't wait to get in the paper and tell it or just air all his dirty washing, can he? Thomas Markle, dreadful man. And a dreadful parent as well, to do these things to your daughter, to keep going to the paper. Okay, so she don't want to know? Fine, that's fine. You know, don't keep going to the paper. It's your daughter, for Christ's sake. You embarrass her. You embarrass your daughter. Thomas Markle, it says here in the Daily Mail this morning, Meghan Markle's estranged father has spoken of his desire to have been at Archie's christening, as he wishes his grandson nothing but help and happiness. And he's gone to the papers again, or they've gone to him, one of the two. I mean, if the papers rung me, oh, we hear that you've got a daughter named, I don't know, named Mary. And we hear that, Mary, and you don't go on. Would you like to tell us more about that? I wouldn't then reel off a story. I'd close the bloody door in their faces. It's your daughter, man. Do you have any decorum whatsoever? Answer, no. Dreadful. Thomas Markle, who's 74, who looks a lot older than that, and ugly. He's ugly as well. Thomas' father, 74, Thomas Markle, 74, has never met his son-in-law, Prince Harry. Yes, he has. Yes, he has. Excuse me, I remember a story where Prince Harry went to him to ask if he could marry her, didn't he? Don't I remember reading something about that? Anyway, he's never met his son-in-law, Prince Harry, and was not invited to day christening at Windsor Castle. Surprise, surprise. Well, you would have turned up with half of the bloody Sun and Daily Mirror, wouldn't he? He said he would have enjoyed being at the celebration because he's been a member of the Anglican Church since childhood. What's that got to do with it? What's that got to do with you not being invited to your child's your grandson's wedding? Describing it as the Queen's Church. Okay, his former wife, Doria Meghan's mother, was pictured in the official photograph released today as one of the select few guests invited to the ceremony. And why shouldn't she be? We've not seen her go to the papers, have we? She hasn't been to the papers and done all these interviews and all that because she respects her daughter, which is something you don't, Sunshine. You're dreadful, man. Dreadful. His former wife was pictured in the official photograph released today as one of the select few guests at the ceremony. Speaking at his home in Mexico, the retired Hollywood lighting director told the Mail on Sunday, I've been asked if I would like to have gone to Britain to see... I have been asked if I would like to have gone to Britain to see my new grandson being christened. I was an altar boy aged 12, a confirmed member of the Queen's Church. Oh, how uninteresting. How uninteresting. Mr. Markle missed last year's royal wedding after suffering 2 heart attacks. And they're building it up to make him look so unhappy. Oh, please. Not interested. I'm just going to close that story because it is not of interest to anyone. But it just does me in how he goes on the paper and talks about his daughter and how she's done this and how she's done that. Dreadful, dreadful. One moment. LaBelle, unless the Queen Mum is gonna favour me a gem from the royal crown while I'm holding little Archie. Queen Mum's not there anymore, I'm afraid. No, we lost her a few years ago. She was a character. Everyone loved the Queen Mother. We loved the Queen Mother. Yeah, she's not been she's been gone for some time. When did the Queen Mother die? Let me just find that out. When did Queen Mum die? Good God, 2002. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 17 years ago! 17 years ago, the wonderful Queen Mother died. Where's this time going, man? It's so quick. I'm telling you, the older you get, the faster it goes. It really does. All right. No, there's no first place for YouTube, Adam. All the messages come up in the same place. If you had been first out of all the messages coming through, you would have got at the top. But no, I believe you have a 1 mark next to you at the moment, Adam, and it is still 1 mark, I'm afraid. Okay. Yes, Heidi says he has met Meghan's father. I'm sure he has. I'm sure he has. My mum has met the Queen Mother. Has she really? How lovely. Did you like the Queen Mother? I loved her. She was fantastic, wasn't she? All right. Oh, that's a serious story. I don't really want to do that. I don't like to do stories that are too serious. Something about... I won't even read the name. I don't know how I've got that up there. There we go. Okay. Now, who wants some muscles? Do you want... Adam, you'd like some muscles, wouldn't you? I don't think I've ever seen you with muscles. Why is that, lovey? Who wants muscles? Who wants muscles? Do you drink those protein shakes, boys? Well, you're wasting your time. What you want to eat is Quorn. Quorn. Staying with the Daily Mirror, researchers from the University of Exeter have found that the microprotein found in Quorn builds muscles twice as fast as whey protein powder. Now, you go into some of these gyms sometimes, and these lads, old and young, they got these packets of powder and these like plastic bottles, and they open a pad and they put it in and they put some water in there and they're shaking it all around and they drink it. It looks absolutely vile. I've got to tell you, it just looks like a load of old chemicals to me. Not my cup of tea, but perhaps you don't need to be doing that. LaBelle likes a builder. We all know you like builders, LaBelle. hanging around those building sites, whistling at them all the time. Stop embarrassing yourself, woman. No decorum, LaBelle. Hold yourself together, dear. There she is, at the bottom, watching these skyscrapers go up in New York, whistling, getting her leg out. It's outrageous, isn't it? It says if you're trying to bulk up this summer in the Daily Mirror, you may find yourself reaching for the protein shakes. But a new study suggests that treating yourself to some Quorn sausages, I do like those, Quorn sausages may be a better tactic to help build up those muscles. Researchers from the University of Essex have found the protein found in Quorn builds muscle twice as fast as milk protein. I had a couple of Quorn steaks when I got in last night. Quorn peppered steaks. Beware where you buy those from. Waitrose want £3.20 or £3.40 for those. You can sometimes pick them up for £2 at Asda and other places like that. In fact, Asda have got some special offer on their frozen Quorn products at the moment, and you can get 4 for £6, like 4 lots of burgers, 4 lots of their delicious cottage pies that they do, Quorn cottage pie. Get 4 for £6 at the moment in the frozen section at Asda. I wrote to Waitrose about the price of their Quorn. How is it you're £3.20? Everywhere else they're £2.75 or less, and they come back with some crap response. Oh well, we do check out and all that. They didn't answer the question at all. Well, fine, I won't buy them anymore from you. Fine. Unfortunately, I started then because I was always a Waitrose shopper, as you well know. The service is fantastic. The girls in there are wonderful to talk to, and all that, but they are expensive. I think on a par. Actually, Sainsbury's are very. Oh, just noticed a load of dust on there. I must get one of my wet wipes. Do you use those wet wipes? They're not very good for the environment. You mustn't put them down the toilet. Wet wipes. I've those. You can get all sorts of different ones now, can't you? There's like a polishing one, and antibacterial one, and one to wipe your bum. All these different wet wipes. Here. Do not wipe your bum with something impregnated with bleach. I would imagine that would be quite painful. I did a similar thing actually. Sometime last year, I think it was, and I noticed I was minging a bit. I was minging a bit. Anyway, I went to the car. This is while I was doing a karaoke at Central Station. I went to the car. I've been looking around for some antiperspirant deodorant. Couldn't find any. But I did find a bottle of aftershave. Okay, and I thought, oh, well, I'll just use this then. I went, pss, 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 pss. Anyway, I put my arms down. And then while I'm at work, my arms started burning underneath. So clearly it's a completely different product. Don't do it. Never, ever put aftershave underneath your arms. And I literally had to go back behind it. I had to get some toilet paper and try and wipe it all off. Oh, it didn't half sting. Very dangerous. Very dangerous. Anyway, back to this now. In the study, the researchers gave 20 healthy young men either milk protein or microprotein after a strenuous workout. Oh, we all have those, don't we? Strenuous workout. In the hours, there's a picture there. Now, there is a picture of the Quorn Ultimate Burgers. I had those. I didn't like them at all. They do lots of different products. They do normal burgers. I think you get 6 in a box. And they do Quorn steaks. They do this, Quorn sausages. And the only Quorn product I haven't liked so far is the Quorn Ultimate Burgers. They taste horrible. I don't know what they've done to them. How horrible they are. In the hours following this protein consumption, the participants' muscle-building rates were then measured. The results, I don't know how you do that. Did they literally grow as you're standing there? So you eat some corn and you do that and they start growing. Look, there's nothing here. I've got bingo wings, look. Nothing there, LaBelle. Oh, hang on. No, that's not bad, is it? Hang on. That's... Oh dear. The results showed that those who ingested milk protein increased their muscle building rates by up to 60%. However, those that had microprotein increased their muscle growth by more than double this. What, like 120%? The muscles are so big. Oh, those muscles holding on to those while you're... Oh, it doesn't matter. However, Dr. Benjamin Wall, the author of the study, said these results are very encouraging when we consider the desire of some individuals to choose non-animal derived sources of protein to support muscle mass maintenance or adaptations with training. So there you go. Try the old Quorn. Try the Quorn instead of the milkshake. And don't do those injections. What are they called? You see some of these blokes, they go out and start injecting themselves to give them a bit of muscles. Can't remember what they're called now. Steroids. Is it steroids? That's it. Steroid injections. Oh, please. Come on. Don't even look real. I've seen it down the gym sometimes. You know, these blokes are coming in there and it's just all solid muscle and a little head on the top. And those steroids aren't good for you, you know. They do something else as well. Watch out, boys. They do something else as well to you. LaBelle has decorum, but I'm not dead. I can't help it. I like a solid man. Do you like that, LaBelle? You know, the really solid muscle and a little head on the top. And unfortunately, you know that. Hello to Kelly Witt. Morning, Kelly. She put some wet wipes in one of those plastic Kinder Egg toy containers, pop it in my handbag, and they're always moist if I ever need it. A very, very good dear. The only thing with and I like the idea of putting them in the container, because often, you know, those wet wipes, especially the ones you get from Aldi that you use for the kitchen, I think they're an orange flavour. I've got some of those, and it don't matter. You're so careful, and the blooming plastic rips, doesn't it? And then you can't do it up again. So that's a good idea, putting them in a little Tupperware box or something like that. Mike McCartney's vegetarian Lincolnshire sausages are very nice. They certainly are. Linda McCartney does some nice stuff at her burgers. She does a burger impregnated with mozzarella cheese as well, which is absolutely delicious. The Linda McCartney stuff is very, very nice as well. All right. LaBelle uses the baby wipes. They're just as good, aren't they, really? But you mustn't put them down the toilet. My biceps are bigger than hers. There's no biceps here. They're just oh, hang on. No, it's up again. Sometimes it comes up, sometimes it doesn't. Good morning to Weird City Citizen. Do you win the identity theft certificate? No. Too late, dear. Too late. I've nearly been here 45 minutes now. Steroids are bad, but there are those who do Synthino. What is that? I've never even heard of that, Synthino. Is that a new thing? Is that like something they've made out of? Oh, God knows what. I don't know. People inject themselves with stuff. It's frightening, really, isn't it? Okay. Nice to see Sinitta was on the stage last night at the Pride Festival, boys and girls. It's something I don't go to. I've no interest in marching around streets anymore. I think that's mainly for younger people, but it looks like everyone had a good time. But nevertheless, Sinitta was on the stage yesterday at Pride, and she had a little bit of a wardrobe malfunction, boys. It doesn't matter anymore, though. I mean, we just laugh. We just laugh it off. Some people are absolutely horrified. Do you remember when Janet Jackson had a bit of a wardrobe malfunction? I think it was at some sort of MTV Awards, and Justin Timberlake made a comment, a humorous comment, but then had to apologise because people were offended. Her breast dropped out or something. Why can't people just see the funny side of this? No sense of humour whatsoever. Well, it's happened to Sinitta now. On the Pride stage yesterday, it said in the Metro this morning, Sinitta was having a Toy Boy. You know what song she does? Toy Boy and what's the other one? Toy Boy. Oh, I can't remember. She was very, very popular, Sinitta. Sinitta was having an absolute blast performing at London Pride. So much fun, in fact, that she'd no idea she popped out of her leotard. I think the same thing would happen to me now, actually. If I wore a leotard, I might pop out as well. The singer was performing on the women's stage when the stretchy material shifted during a high-octane... This is like a high-octane show, this, isn't it? Don't you think? Is this a high-octane show? The material shifted during a high-octane dance and left the 55-year-old exposed, with her boobs wanting it on the fun taking place on the stage. Now, I can't imagine that would have bothered her. I think she would have just laughed that off. Sinitta kicked things off in oversized white t-shirt that referenced her iconic hit So Macho. That was the other one. So macho, I wanna be so macho. Do you know Sinitta in New York by any chance, LaBelle? She was great. I liked her very much. Before stripping off to the 80s inspired black outfit that also had featured gold and silver chains. It looks quite good. Her performance comes amid claims that had been in talks about potentially returning to the X Factor this year. And then it goes on about the X Factor. But I mean, that's all that happened. A breast dropped out the front. It's hardly news, is it, really? We would just laugh it off, that sort of thing. Weird City says, I've popped out again, Lynn. Do you remember when Alan Partridge popped out? No, I'm not a Alan Partridge fan at all. He doesn't do it for me, I'm afraid. Really doesn't do it for me. Janet at the Super Bowl, that was it. That really wasn't funny to us uptight Americans who are afraid of nudity in public. Oh, come on, it's only a little bit of fun. How can you not find that funny? It's funny when things go wrong. People love it. People watch this programme, right? And they look for something that's wrong. They're not interested in anything I'm saying or the stories I tell or the newspaper articles. All they want is for something to not be right so that they can mention it. Well, by the way, Chris, the calendar was slightly out of place this morning. Oh, your collar wasn't done up properly. Oh, you've got a little food mark on the bottom of your shirt there where you're having breakfast. They're looking for things that are wrong, and they find them highly amusing. I don't know why. Weird City says, Americans can spot a nipple in a sea of guns. Is that right? Oh, dear. Now, if you're a fan of Love Island... No, I didn't think so either. Me neither. As you know, gang, I do the anti-Love Island videos. There's another 2 I did yesterday, which go up. I put one up on... They all go up. As soon as they're completed, they go up to a YouTube channel. I've got a YouTube channel, which I'll... as I said, I don't know I can cut and paste it, can I? Well, I usually cut and paste it. Shall I do it? You know where it is, don't you? I can't do it on the other thing, though. 1 minute. No, I've got the wrong channel up there. Hang on a minute. Let's just switch accounts onto that one. I'll just post it onto the Facebook messaging system, but I can't put it on the YouTube one, actually. If you're watching on YouTube and you want to watch on Facebook, you can watch it in many places, this programme. Just go to facebook.com/Chris Reardon UK. Right, facebook.com/Chris Reardon UK. There's the YouTube channel. If you're watching on Facebook, you'll see that little message coming up there that you can go on there and type in. As soon as I've done a new video, immediately they go up onto YouTube, okay? So there's a few more on there than there will be on Facebook. And I release one a day. I try and do one a day on Instagram and Facebook, but they're already on YouTube. The first place they go up is on YouTube, so that's what you want to subscribe to. And there's 2 more on there than you would have seen on Facebook or Instagram at the moment, okay? So they always go up there first. But if you are a fan, well, oh, hang on a minute, where's that gone now? Predict and win. This is in The Sun this morning, in The Sun. It says, test your knowledge of Love Island and you could pocket one of 50 vouchers in our almost daily competition. So that sounds fun. Now, are you excited? Vouchers. Vouchers for watching Love Island. Now, presumably, ITV2 are making quite a lot of money out of Love Island. A lot of young people seem to like that whole thing. Doesn't do it for me whatsoever. I mean, how many... It's just a load of pretty people rowing and shagging. That's it. That's basically it. That's basically the whole Love Island format. Okay? Doesn't do it for me. There's no story. There is no talent whatsoever. Nothing. Okay? But, that being said, a lot of people like it, so they must make quite a lot of money from it. It says in The Sun. Okay. So you know and love Love Island, but do you really love Love Island, it says. Do you know the show so well that you can guess what's going to happen next? If so, this almost daily competition is for you. And there's a picture, which I assume is the Love Island bed. Did they all sleep in the same bed? They look like they're sleeping on boxes. It's very strange, the bedroom, I must say. Oh, you know, I can't sleep with anyone else in the same room. I used to when I was in the Scouts, and we all used to chuck into a tent and sleep there. Like, be 6 of us in there. I can't share a room anymore with anyone. Maybe I don't think even my best mate anymore. I can't bear being in the same room as someone else while I'm trying to sleep, whether it's one person or 6. Well, this lot all seem to sleep in the same room. Well, there must be 1, 2, 3. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's about 6 or 7 beds in the same room. Oh, just imagine all that snoring and the smell. Oh, bleh. It's bad. Sometimes I leave my bedroom in the morning. It stinks. It's awful. Awful. Just imagine being in a bedroom as this lot. Carl. A few hours before each and every episode of Love Island, the Sun will be asking you a question about what's going to happen that evening. Right? Wait for the voucher. Wait for the voucher. Are you excited now? You can win a voucher. How much? I'm just coming to that in a minute. Just coming to that. Listen to you. Well, how much do we get? How much do we get? Is this free money? Guess right, and you'll be entered into the grand draw to win one of 50 Amazon vouchers to the value of £30. I mean, 30 quid? Are you for real? 30? I thought I was going to say like 500 quid or something like that. 30 quid. You tight-fisted bastards. All that money you've got, people read it. Is it I don't know, it's the Sun or Love Island doing these prizes. You can win a £30 Amazon voucher. Come on, you'd rather have a certificate from me, wouldn't you? The prize of winning 30 quid. You can enter as many times as you like. Well, I'd be on the computer all day long trying to win several of them. 30 quid wouldn't do it for me. Even if it was, I don't know, what am I? I'm not an expert on anything, rather than, questions about Holby City. I might be able to do something there, but 30 quid, I wouldn't bother. Wouldn't pick up my pen. Go. You can enter as many times as you like. Check out the rules. Each predictor game will appear here in the Sun. It must be the Sun doing it. 30 quid. Dear me. No, I don't think so, Sun. 30 quid to test your knowledge of Love Island. Do me a favour. All right. Kelly Kim. Love Island does nothing for me, but funnily, I taught one of the boys from there when he was in secondary school, and it's very, very disturbing to hear about a once lovely 15-year-old girl get up to no good on the island. Well, it's not only that, Kelly. It's just instant fame, isn't it? It's instant fame, and this is. I don't think people realise what this is doing to people's heads. When you're shoved on the telly, and immediately you're famous. You can't walk down a street. I mean, it's been the same for me for many, many years, to be honest, my dear. I can't go anywhere without being recognised. I'll be cycling to church today. I'll probably be late. I'll be late because people get, is it Chris Reardon? Is it Chris Reardon? I get all that. Yeah. But these people, they're nobodies, and suddenly they're shoved on the telly for a couple of weeks, and then that's it, right? So they're finished, and they'll be very well known for a very short period of time, hugely popular, and then there's nothing. And I don't think they can cope with that. I think it does something to your head. I've got to be honest, after I stopped DJing, it was a similar thing to me, really. I couldn't really walk among much of the gay scene without not being, oh, hello, Chris. You're Chris, aren't you? Yeah, that was. I had a lot of that all the time, which went on for years, and then I stopped the DJing, and then that becomes less and less and less, and then you just blend in with the crowd. But that was fine because I had a long period to do that. These people, they're you doing what I used to do. There's a build up to that point, to when everyone knows you. These people are shoved on the telly. No one knows them. They're shoved on the telly. Instant fame for 5 minutes, and then they've got nothing. And you can imagine and you can imagine them walking around. Why does no one like me anymore? Well, it's not that case. It's not that no one likes you anymore. No one knows you anymore, and it must be absolutely devastating to lose that spotlight. It must be. And I think it affects people's minds. And there have been, of course, people who have killed themselves, haven't there? Committed suicide. Young people. Nice young people. I think it's terrible. It really is awful. Good morning to Shania. Good morning, Shania. Welcome along. Don't worry about being late, my darling. That's okay. LaBelle, Chia wouldn't give me a time of day if I knew you're back then. Chia. Try that again. Are you checking your spelling this morning, LaBelle? Please check your spelling, my dear. All right. Okay. Now, where else have we got? I think we've got one more story for you today, boys and girls. Here we go. Want to go to Eton? Have you got any children yet? Who's got children? I bet you'd like your son to go to Eton, wouldn't you? Eh? Well, again, in the Sun this morning, it's England's most... A very good morning to Trevor Campbell. You should go on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. No, thank you, Trevor. Wouldn't be going on anything like that, mate. They wouldn't ask me anyway. I'm not a celebrity, but I wouldn't go on it. Oh, my God, no. Jumping out of helicopters, eating insects, having spiders and cockroaches poured all over you, going in that water tank thing. Nope, not for me. While Ant and Dec are sitting there pissing themselves laughing about what you're getting up to. Nope, not for me, I'm afraid. No celebrity, no Big Brother, nothing like that. Just one more story then for you in the Sun. It's England's most famous school, Eton, attended by princes and future prime ministers. £42,500 a year will get you in there. In Eton School. And do you love your son that much? Do you love your son that much to get them into Eton? Well, Eton is offering your chance the child of a life-changing free place. Wow. Wow. The exclusive independent boys boarding school in Windsor, it's only about 20 minutes from here. It's today launching the Orwell Award bursary in the Sun on Sunday. The scholarship scheme will fund up to 12 boys from across the UK to do their A-levels at the 15th century school founded by King Henry IV. Headmaster Simon Henderson said, "We'd love a son or Sunday reader's child to be able to access what we offer. We don't care about backgrounds. If you're good enough, we'll find the money. Please apply." Successful candidates will join the ranks of former students, including Boris Johnson and Prince William and Harry. They've all gone to Eton. Together with trips, uniform and extracurricular activities, costs at Eton add up to more than most parents can afford. Yet Mr. Henderson says, "We're also speaking to local authorities about boys in foster care or children's homes. If your son's doing his GCSEs and wants to study A-levels, get in touch. It could change his life. Similarly, if your son is in year 5 and is doing well, we want to hear from you as well." Currently, 83 students at Eton receive full bursaries. It includes all fees, trips, musical instrument lessons, uniforms, a laptop and pocket money. It says to be an Etonian boy, you need to be good citizens who our country can be proud of. We want intelligent boys. Well, that counts me out. We want intelligent boys, but they don't necessarily have to get straight A's. And I think that's a fantastic thing. I would love in, how old are my great nieces and nephews now? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I would love in 8 years' time, 7 or 8 years' time, to be able to tell you that one of my great nephews is going to Eton. I would be so proud of that. So proud. At the moment, it's £42,000 a year if you've got the money to pay for it. You know, it's an awful lot of money. But with a bursary, but you've got to be sort of fairly intelligent to try and get in there, I think. You know. But how proud would you be to know that your son had gone to Eton or goes to Eton or somewhere like that? That would be amazing, wouldn't it? Oh, just a minute. I just think that would be totally fantastic. Good morning. Tommy Flynn has just sent me a question mark. What's the question mark for? What's the question mark for, Mr. Flynn? What does that mean? That means nothing at all, a question mark. Try again, dear. All right. Okay, gang, let's do today's birthdays and yesterday's as well, because we weren't with you on Saturday. We're often not with you on a Saturday, gang. But today's birthday is my very, very good friend, Matthew Joplin. It says you're 36. Now, I thought you was about 40 now, Matthew. Are you lying to me, dear? Matthew's a DJ for his career. He does pop world or something like that in Brighton, and he does one in, I think he does one in London still. He might have completely moved down to Brighton. He's doing karaoke tonight in Wimbledon somewhere, and I keep meaning to perhaps turn up to one of his karaoke nights in Wimbledon. So happy birthday to my very, very, very good friend Matthew Joplin today. It says he's 36. I don't believe a word of it. Happy birthday to Daniel Broadbent. He does karaoke nights as well. Good morning, Daniel. Doesn't say your age there. You're obviously hiding that from the world. Happy birthday, Daniel. Xanny G. Good morning, Xanny. Happy birthday to you. Russ Raymond Sandy. Good morning. Happy birthday to Russ. Irving Distiller. A young 72 years old today. It's a long time since I've heard from you, my friend. So happy birthday today to Irving Distiller as well, over there in the United States of America. Yesterday's birthdays, only 3 yesterday. Chin Yay. Chin Yay, happy birthday for yesterday. Stu Donnelly was 42 yesterday. Happy birthday, Stu. And Stephanie Kenny yesterday was 43 years old. So happy birthday, boys and girls. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Weird City says it's okay to knock a couple of years off your age. I do it all the time. A couple, Weird City? Come on, mate. I think you've knocked a few more off than a couple, haven't you? Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks ever so much. I hope the sun comes out a bit later on. Certainly down here in Berkshire, it's looking very grey and miserable. No rain at the moment, so fingers crossed as that. Have a lovely day, boys and girls. A pleasure to talk to you, and hopefully I'll see you again at some time tomorrow. See you soon. Bye-bye now.